You're listening to Arizona Good Business Radio, featuring unique stories with leaders who believe the community is a central part of doing business. Join us on the journeys of entrepreneurs, local businesses, and champions of Arizona who believe working together, we can build stronger communities.
Welcome. I am Thomas Barr with Local First Arizona. We're so excited to have you here on Arizona Good Business Radio, where we feature leaders throughout the Arizona business community. If you don't know Local First, we're a statewide organization that advocates for and celebrates local businesses and works for a sustainable Arizona economy. And we're the largest local business coalition in North America. Wow. Providing resources to thousands of small businesses while raising awareness of the benefits of building a strong local economy. That's a lot of stuff. To say we are excited would be an understatement today, because we have Director of Sustainability Initiatives at Local First Arizona, Jason Lowry, and the owner of Drink Me Tea Room in Tempe, Arizona, Melissa. Thank you both for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. This is exciting.
Yeah, we're super excited. So the intentions of having both of you here today, we will reveal soon, but would love to just get a little bit of a background about who both of you are as we get started, and then we'll dig into some of the details as to why we would have a tea room and our Director of Sustainability in one room together today. So Melissa, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about you and the business that you own.
Sure. I actually am never intended to have a small business. It was really not on my radar at all. I have corporate America background. I worked for Disney, Southwest Airlines, and Verizon. And then I guess it's been about 5 years now. There was a voluntary severance package that I took and didn't know what I was going to do next. So I went to London with my family, and we did afternoon tea a few times. And I thought, oh, I guess this is my next endeavor. Started writing my business plan on the flight home. And then the tea room was open 18 months later during COVID, unfortunately. But
oh, wow.
We opened the doors July 2020 and just crossed our fingers and hope people would come.
So funny. I love that you have the tea room too. And I was joking with my wife not too long ago. She had that we were watching a TV show or something, and there was and I made a comment. I was just like, who gets tea? And she was just like, everyone except for like Americans in the world. And it's so funny how like our culture is accustomed to like coffee, but like tea is like actually the more popular drink of the morning, the afternoon, like the evening, every part of the day. So it's really cool concept. Yep. Awesome. Well, welcome Jason as well. You are about 2 years into your role with Local First Arizona, but tell us a little bit about you. How'd you land here?
So I came to Local First through an odd avenue, which was I was a community organizer for 7 years before coming to Local First. Did a lot of work really along the Texas-Mexico border, moved back to Arizona. I went to school at NAU, moved back to Arizona in 2020 during the pandemic, and did a lot of public health work, just dealing with the pandemic, and was really looking for something. I'd studied sustainability, was really looking for something that could take me back to the sustainability role.
Right.
And I'd heard about the work Local First was doing, supporting nonprofits through the Resource Center. Really piqued my curiosity, my interest, and applied for the position. And 2 years in, and no better place for me to be right now.
Love it. Cool. I'm acting like I'm learning this for the first time. Obviously, I interviewed you, but we're happy to have you on the team. We're doing great work together, and so excited to have both of you here. To reveal kind of the reason why we wanted to bring both of you on today to share with our listeners is I've been doing this work for almost 11 years, and every single day, every week, every month, every year, the number one need for the small business community in Arizona that I continue to hear is a lack of access to capital. There's just this ongoing challenge with businesses trying to get access to the funding that they need to, whether that's open a business, expand a business, just sustain their business. It's really hard to access the capital that they need. And we won't go into the details as to why today. That could be a whole nother show. But one really cool thing that Local First has embarked on that has been led by Jason and his team is our Green Loan Fund and our green initiatives. And I know, Melissa, you've been very conscious about future proofing your business and staying conscious about your waste and everything that you have. And I believe you became green certified not too long ago. Is that right?
We were green certified. We just renewed.
Okay.
So this will be what, year 3?
Yeah, I think y'all were one of our early adopters of the certification, if I'm not mistaken. So
Cool.
yeah, y'all were one of the first in the door.
Awesome. And so, I feel like there is a lot of skepticism about quote unquote certifications out there because they've just been kind of greenwashed in a way, right? Like anybody could come up with the certification, I guess, and say, check these boxes and you're certified. But Local First takes a bit of a more thorough approach to it, and actually validating that you're being a green business. So I'd love to hear about your experience first, Melissa, and then Jason, I'd love to hear from you on what it is that we're doing. So could you share a little bit about what you went through to get certified?
Yeah, absolutely. I had already built a lot of the green business practices into the business from the beginning. So just because it's really important to me personally, I had a plan to compost everything right away. Like that was part of the business plan. All of our to-go containers are compostable. Just managing food waste and the water usage. When we did our build out of the space, I replaced all the lighting with LED. So that was already in the plan to begin with. But then when I heard about the green business certification, I was really excited about that because what else can I do? What else can I do to make it even better? Nick from Local First came out and did an audit. He worked with us the whole time through the application and the process. And really, he measured our water usage and our electricity usage and really watched our process to see, are we really doing what we're saying we're doing?
Okay.
So he definitely went through and did audits on all of our practices and then helped us really put together written policy of what our plan is and what we do on a daily basis.
Gotcha.
To get the certification. I will say all of that was before my even being a member of Local First. And it was free of charge to get the certification. I tell other businesses that all the time.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. And that's through, I think, our partnership with Tempe. Isn't that right, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, tell us, Jason, so what differentiates the Local First Green Business Certification from any other, certification or like stamp of approval for being a green business that might be out there? Just because I feel like with trying to build a loyal customer base, and I mean, you're being intentional about doing that, Melissa, you want to be sure that, it's important to you, but also you want to drive a type of customer to come and be loyal to your business because you're doing these things as well, right? You got the same business. So what's the differentiation, Jason?
Yeah, well, I think there's one cool differentiator is that we are a part of a coalition of about 12 other states throughout the country. This is a nationally recognized certification, which is really cool. It connects you to other businesses across the United States. But exactly what Melissa mentioned, I think one of the big differentiators is that that verification. There's a lot of certifications where they email you a checklist. You go, you respond yay or nay, and then at the end of the day, the checklist is law. Right. I mean, that is the end of the conversation. Have you done it enough? Great. So I think that's one big thing is the verification process, but also it's ideally that technical assistance. So even if a business can't quite hit all of those core metrics that we want you to hit to become green certified, the Local First sustainability team and the whole broader Local First team is really there to support the business, to guide them through how can they get from where they are to, being that verified, certified green business. As she mentioned, Nick Shivka worked with her hand in hand to develop the sustainability policy, really looking at all those things. So how do we give business owners the tools they need to make those changes? And then again, to draw that loyal customer base, ideally.
Yeah. I love you sharing the details about it because there's been people that have followed Local First for so long that might think that all we do for businesses is just put together networking events still. And the work is so much deeper. We're coming in, we're helping businesses develop these cool plans. save on their water and waste and hopefully money and things like that, and also driving in new customers. So the work goes so much deeper than just saying buy local, right? We are actually helping businesses sustain themselves, come up with really rigorous plans for themselves. And it makes me excited to know that we have such talent on our team and motivated businesses like Melissa that are willing to do it and invest in it. I know you just got recertified, so you just mentioned that.
Mhm.
So what has it been like being a green certified business? Have things, I mean, obviously it was from your inception that you had the plans to do so, but do you see people interested? Do people ask about it? Like, what is the response from the community in being green certified, or even intentional about it?
Yeah, I actually I do get questions from other business owners.
Mm.
And I've had, people come to me and say, okay, well, what can I do? I can't switch completely, but what are the other smaller things I can start with?
Sure.
And that doing the small things to start is the best way.
Yeah.
Best way to do it. Just start one thing at a time. I am the all in, like kind of all or nothing kind of mindset, which not everyone can do. So I think they definitely can start small and being able to share. Oh yeah. And if you have more questions, like there's a whole team of people to support you with it is really, really great.
Yeah. It can be overwhelming. Like even when we talk about local first in general, we always tell people we're not local always Arizona, we're local first Arizona. If you tried to spend 100% of your money at local businesses, it would be really hard. So let's start with the small things. Where do you get your haircut? Right?
Yeah.
Like, can we switch to small things first? So it's cool that the same mindset from a business owner from being green could be, well, are you composting, or how much water are you using? Like just start with the small things. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and I think ideally with the certification, the way I've come to better understand it is we're not saying, this is the shining city on the hill in terms of what does it mean to be a green business. We're really saying can we set a standard that pretty much any business owner, if they wanted to attain that, would be able to. It's setting the floor, if you will, of what it means to be a good green business. And it's much more about how do you be a good steward of the resources you already have. And then, make sure that you're doing regular AC maintenance. How do you make sure that you're taking good care of the equipment you have? And then importantly, that sustainability policy is really that North Star to guide your decisions into the future, right? You should have 50% minimum LED or efficient lighting, but how do you make sure that you have a policy in place to get you to 100% in 2 to 3 years, right?
Sure.
And it's really about setting that floor and then providing that North Star for businesses to move forward from there. And we try and make it as accessible as possible to any business that wants to do it.
Yeah. And telling the story, right? Like you can do all the work, but if people don't know about it, then you're doing all the work for maybe not a business purpose, right? So I love that you said good steward, because the reason we started this show is because we wanted to highlight businesses doing good things, right? Not only how do you operate a business, but how do you operate a business that's doing good for the community and in return that keeping you in business, right? And so curious, Melissa, how you tell your story that you're green. Do you have signage? Do you talk to your customers about, like, how does it come out in how you run your business?
So my team at the Tea Room, we have kind of a welcome presentation when people come in. And they call it the Tea Talk. So part of the Tea Talk is talking about what's special about the Tea Room. And my team gets to pick like their favorite thing. Maybe it's a woman-owned business or family-owned because my daughter runs it with me. Or, the composting is like one of the favorite ones that they talk about. But there's a whole page in our menu books that talks about what we do and what we're about. And one of the other things we haven't really mentioned yet either is that we're fully vegan and gluten-free, which also has a sustainability impact too. So my team usually talks through some of those special points when we have guests that come in for tea.
Cool.
We also put it up like on our signage and our website. But I think I probably need to do a better job about sharing that information. I'm very proud of it, but I don't know that I get that story out as often as other parts of the story.
It's funny. Yeah. I a lot of the time people will reach out, and if they are unfamiliar with Local First or our directory or things like that, they will say, well, how do you know if a business is local? And usually what I say is go into a business and go up to the cashier and say, who owns this place? And if they don't know, it's probably not a local business.
Yeah.
If they say, oh, let me grab Melissa, she's just in the back,
Yes.
then you're probably in a local business. But it's funny because so often we are training businesses how to tell their local story, how to, whether it's on your receipts or customer service or whatever it is. And so it's always good to have a refresher and always take a look at what you're doing. But I would love to go back to the tea room. Describe to us the experience. Like I'm a visual person. So as I'm approaching, as I'm walking in, what are we seeing? What are we experiencing? What is it like to come to your business?
So the tea room is really a little bit different from traditional afternoon tea rooms. We normally on a stereotypical tea room, it's very floral and pink, and there's a lot of flowers, and like the dishes are all very floral and maybe vintage. The tea room, my tea room is much more modern. It's black and white. We have one accent color, which is purple. Our logo is a bunny. It's just a little more, I guess, gender neutral.
Okay.
And also it gives us a really good baseline to do themed afternoon teas. So we do themed teas throughout the year, different themes. And what we do is we kind of redecorate the tea room over and over again with different themes.
That's
so
cool.
the baseline is Alice in Wonderland, but it's really more modern feel.
Okay.
Like our dishes are black and white. We don't have flowery dishes. I always think about, oh my gosh, the breakage on like vintage china would just make
Sure.
me cry. So, we're just a little bit more modern than a usual tea room. So walking in, you get that for sure. We have very Instagrammable spaces in the tea room because everybody wants to dress up and take photos.
Yeah.
And
Very
then,
smart.
Yeah. The experience itself, we basically reserve a 2-hour time frame for guests to come in and have afternoon tea. My team presents them with a tea tray that has selected teas depending on the theme that we're offering. Like when we do Alice in Wonderland, they're all named after characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go through kind of a presentation, set expectations, like this is what we do, this is what to expect. There's no menu to order from because it's a prefix menu, which is very typical of afternoon tea.
Again, I wouldn't know, but I need to.
Everything is pre-selected.
Right
So
with you. Yeah.
when we change themes, like
Yeah.
all of the food items change as well. The tea selections change, although people can order any of our 40 plus teas.
Yeah.
But when we present it, we specifically pick certain teas that kind of go with the
That's
theme.
cool though. Yeah.
And then the food, once they decide on what tea they want, we deliver their teapots. Our teapots are glass, so you see the color of your tea.
Cool.
You get to smell your tea before you order it. We have little sample bottles so they can kind of see what the tea looks like, smell it, and then they see it in the pot as well.
Cool.
And then once we deliver their teapots and or cocktails, we have specialty cocktails as well
cool.
that are made with our tea.
Cool.
Once we delivered their drinks, then we bring out their tea tray, which is a 3-tiered tray. The bottom level is always savory. And then we have 2 levels of sweets. And then depending on if you do the full afternoon tea or like kind of the mid-size, there might be a side plate too with scones and cookies and curd and things. So there's a lot of food that comes out and everything is very small and cute.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Instagrammable.
Cool.
So it's a whole presentation. So once they bring the tea tray and the side trays, then the team goes through each item. So people understand like, oh, wow, this is a lot of things. It's about 15 things on a full tea tray. So they go through each item so people understand like what's on their tray and what it is. And then it's also in our menu book if they need to refer to it. But it's really presented.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a presentation. And then we kind of let them get into it, check back with them. But most of the time, if people have questions, it's really more of, oh, this is my favorite question. Is this really all gluten-free? Like everything, all of this, even this cake or even this scone? And like, yes, 100% gluten-free kitchen.
Cool.
We're very specifically hyper aware of allergies.
Yeah.
That's something that we really focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Gluten-free kitchen, totally vegan. So we're covering all the dairy allergies, egg allergies, gluten allergies, all right off the bat. And then we can modify our trays for nut allergies as well.
Cool.
So that's another big focus, but that's one of my favorite things is when people come in and say, I've never had a macaron before because I'm vegan. And then they get to eat their first macaron.
Oh, that's
really
cool.
Great. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. I can feel and see your passion about every detail of everything that you do. So that's really cool to hear. So I do want to transition and talk a little bit about, actually not just a little bit, I want to dig into the opportunity at Local First Arizona that you took advantage of through the Green Loan Fund. Which is, I feel like the, most hidden best news in town that not enough people know about. Because like I mentioned before, we hear all the time, businesses are looking for capital, looking for different ways to sustain themselves or invest in their businesses or grow. And we started the Green Loan Fund a little over a year ago, maybe a little less. I can't specifically remember, but Jason, tell us what it is, what it can do, and what's available for Arizona businesses right now.
Yeah, so the Green Loan Fund is incredibly exciting. It is it's a loan that is offered to businesses who complete the certification or are able to go through the Green Business Bootcamp, two of our sustainability programs. We talked a little bit about the certification already, and it is a loan between $2,500 and $25,000. So, small to modest sizes of loan sizes. The interest rate is 3%. Flat 3% interest rate, loan terms up to 3 years. And really the whole goal of this is to give business owners access to capital so that way they can make changes that save them money over the long haul through sustainability measures without investing any money of their own upfront.
Cool.
Right. So, business owners know best way to grow your business is with other people's money. So we're trying to give them access to that at a low interest rate and allow them to do projects that save them money, ideally over the long haul.
Yeah. Best deal in town. That's cool. And talk about the types of infrastructure or things that businesses could invest in with the funds. Is it limited to specific things? What could they spend the money on if they want to?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the funding can be invested in physical infrastructure that lowers your energy, water, waste, or transportation impacts significantly. And ideally, the investment is also lowering your expenses enough that you're actually able to pay for the loan with your savings without paying any more than you were had you not done the project.
Cool.
So ideally, businesses are saving from day one. And so we're talking about they can replace all of their lighting with LEDs. They can do water efficiency projects. They can do, pollution prevention, making sure that like grease traps are in place. So we're making sure clean water is coming out of the building as much as possible.
Oh, cool.
Solar, fleet conversions, whether we've got hybrid electric or fully electric vehicles.
So you could use the money to buy an electric vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, cool. That's awesome.
So the rule of thumb is it physical infrastructure and does it lessen your economic or your environmental impact?
Awesome.
And if it checks those boxes, in general, businesses are going to be able to qualify, and we don't require tax returns. There's not the whole rigmarole of going through applying for a large commercial business loan for businesses.
Cool.
And again, the goal is you're saving money ideally on day one.
Cool. That's awesome. And you mentioned that to be eligible, you just have to get Green Business certified or go through a Green Business Bootcamp through Local First Arizona. That's right?
Yep. That is the bar.
Baseline. Cool. I love it. And obviously through those programs, you kind of go through your auditing, you go through your technical assistance to identify where those savings might be. So Melissa, you accessed the fund, and what did you use it on?
I expanded the business recently. And we opened a grab and go space.
Cool.
So people can come in and get tea, drinks, and pastry. And it was a bakery space before, but it needed some plumbing updates. And we needed to add water to the front to be able to brew tea. And we needed to add a prep sink
I see.
and replace the grease trap. And so I had gone through, well, one, being Green Business Certified, but also went through the Green Boot Camp as
Okay.
well. And so that's where I learned about the loan, was in boot
Mhm.
camp. And then we just needed to have a water audit from the city. So the city of Tempe came out and did a water audit for us.
Did you have to pay for that? Or?
No.
That's
Didn't
cool.
have to pay for that.
Hmm.
And then once we had the audit, we could submit for, I say we, it was me. I could submit, Nick helps me, but I say
royal
we a
we.
lot, the
Yeah.
royal
You
we.
have a
but-
community behind you.
Yes. So then I submitted for the loan, and it honestly was like the easiest process. It was really surprising. Like
Cool.
it was so easy just because we, I guess, had, the sustainability team behind us, like, to vouch that
Yeah.
this is legitimate.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so, investing in that, were you taking over an additional part of the building? Like, was like a
Yeah.
wall broken down and like going through construction and all
No,
that? Or?
it's it is a different suite in the building, but there's a business in between the tea room
Okay.
and the new space.
Got it.
So it is a separate suite.
Oh,
but
okay.
yes, but it's just still an expansion.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's super exciting. And I love how you're bringing the business mindset to it. So it's like potentially a new avenue of revenue for you with like the grab and go and that sort of stuff. Was it a long-term project to get everything implemented? I know you just had a grand opening. I saw a picture of like the mayor, like jumping up and down, that sort of stuff.
Yes.
How long was the time period to get access to the funds and then open up your grab and go?
Well, it was a little bit delayed just for the construction piece itself.
Okay.
But the
Boo,
actual,
no.
I know, it's always
Yeah.
the challenge.
Yeah.
I think the actual process to get approved and get funded was probably maybe 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
It was
That's
very,
really
very
fast. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
fast.
I mean, going through a bank, you've got to go through underwriting and like this and that and whatever, probably higher interest rate too. So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. 3% today is
It's unheard
basically
of.
free money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, that's wild. Jason, what other projects are we looking at out there? I know Social
Mhm.
Spin took advantage of this too. What
Yeah,
did they do?
Social Spin. And well, before we switch to Social Spin, I just want to lift up that through the water audit,
Yeah.
by implementing the changes that were recommended, Melissa and Drink Me are going to be saving 90,000 gallons a year.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this is not a drop in the bucket,
Yeah.
right? For a small business, that is a huge savings for water. I saw the picture. Nick emailed it to me. There was one of your kitchen sinks,
Faucets, yeah.
and there was literally a spout of water
Oh my God.
shooting out of the faucet.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Have you estimated how much that's going to save you in water costs each month? Not just like the amount of water being saved, but like what you would need to pay for that water.
I have not, but
Okay.
that's probably a good math question to work on.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow.
Absolutely. But anyway, so yeah, it's significant savings. And then Social Spin, they are a nonprofit laundromat. They provide you can stop by and do your laundry at their sites. They also have a drop off and pickup service. And then what's really cool is that the profits that they generate from their laundry services go to providing the unhoused community here in the Phoenix metro area crucial services, everything from COVID vaccine clinics. They offer free laundry services to them, just a safe space to come and get out of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
And they had this gas guzzling Kia Sedona minivan that they were spending about $24,000 a year on their pickup and drop off routes.
Wow.
And an additional $4,000 in repairs that they were having to do because this was an older vehicle. So they utilized the green loan. They were able to purchase a new Toyota Sienna hybrid electric minivan.
Cool.
And right there, they doubled their gas mileage right out the gate. But what was super cool about this, so they're saving money because they increased their gas mileage.
I'm sure hundreds of dollars a month. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other thing they did is they optimized their pickup and drop off routes.
Mm.
And so they're now estimating they're saving $14,000 a year in gas
Wow.
which is
Not even hundreds. That's thousands.
insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild. And the other really cool thing was that their drivers all of a sudden had 20 hours a week of free time.
Mm,
And so Christy, the owner of Social Spin, was able to use that and work with them to identify 2 opportunities where they brought on 2 additional contracts worth over $60,000 a year.
cool.
And so if you're looking at the payback in 1 year, you're
Yeah.
looking at savings of 14,000, increased contracts of over 60.
New business.
You're talking that's about $74,000
Yeah.
of saved or additional revenue they didn't have last year.
Yeah. Net positive on the whole transaction.
Which,
That's awesome.
yeah, makes the payback for the minivan. I know it's not a perfect payoff, but you're talking about 2/3 of a year
Yeah.
ROI,
Wow.
which is just crazy.
Incredible.
And again, those savings are money that she's able to pour back into and invest back into the Phoenix community.
Cool.
Especially the most vulnerable.
So if I'm a business out there, I'm listening, I'm super excited. Wow, this is cool. Like I would love to get a water audit and save, 90,000 gallons a year or whatever. Right. Like I want to do that. What's the process like to get green certified or green business boot camp? Like, do I need to be there every single day? Like how much time do I need to invest as an owner of a business to go through one of those programs, Melissa?
I would say as far as the green business certification,
Mhm.
depending on what processes you have in place already, it can shorten the time.
Okay.
Right. For us to do it, really, we just needed to write some policy to
Okay.
put into our certification. We really had all the other things already in process.
Sure.
So I guess it really depends on where the business is starting from.
Mm.
Like if they do need to make some improvements or there's a project that they want to implement. The other thing is the Green Business Bootcamp really lets you kind of expand and do specific focus projects. So
Sure.
ours was an energy audit that I chose. And going through that boot camp, it is 6 weeks.
Yeah, 7 weeks. Yeah.
7 weeks. So it's once a week.
Okay.
We came in and met at the boot camp and had different speakers to talk about different topics: energy, water,
Cool.
waste. It was really well time spent in a good place, and then networking with other really like-minded businesses was
Cool.
a benefit too. So we did an energy audit from that.
Okay.
So that process, I would say, right, it took more time,
Sure.
but it was also after we got our certification, and it was, okay, what else can I do? What
Yeah.
more can I do?
Cool.
So I think that one has a little more of a heavy lift
Mhm.
than the actual green business certification to start
Yeah.
off.
For your business.
For my
'cause you were,
business.
you started with the idea of being green. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So I guess it just depends on where someone's starting, just to try to think about what the projects are that you want to implement or
Cool.
what will help benefit your business to become a green business. Really depends on, if you could start with composting,
Mhm.
that one's not a heavy lift. It really isn't.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things just to start practicing that and
Sure.
getting your team on board, or even talking with your team about what they want to do,
Yeah.
what they want to implement. That I think is where the time is spent,
Yeah.
more than the actual process, because the sustainability team is tremendously supportive.
Cool.
Like any questions, anytime, an
Love to hear
email,
it.
a phone call, text message. I mean, they're there to help you at any time. So
Awesome.
they really help you through the process.
Cool. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jason, but I guess what I take from what Melissa said is just talk to our team and find out where you're at, and we can recommend a solution for you. Would you agree?
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah. Awesome.
Spot on.
Well, the last thing I'd just mention is, so Jason, you mentioned that the amount that you can be eligible for through the Green Loan Fund is between $2,500 to $25,000. That's no small feat. We know that the average small business typically is looking for micro loans that are just not accessible through a lot of the big banks. We work with a lot of the community banks and credit unions in town too, have been great partners. But if you're looking for obviously fast capital at a low interest rate for investing in green infrastructure, like this is a really awesome opportunity. So is there a window of time that this is open? Like, is this just a running open fund? How can businesses find out about it and
Yeah.
access the funding if they want to?
Yeah, so this is rolling. We have a pretty substantial investment from Vitalist Health Foundation that's really helped to get this off the ground. Growth Partners, our CDFI partner in this, they've also augmented the fund with some of their other capital. So we've got a pretty good pot of capital that's available for businesses if they want to take advantage of it. The Green Business Certification is really an open door. Just, are you interested? We're willing to meet with you, get that process going, really get this off the ground.
Cool.
And the Green Business Bootcamp, we've got 3 of those per year. They are going to be online. So
virtual. You don't have to come in person. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Melissa got the special treatment here in Tempe where we got to do an in-person one, which was exciting. But the rest of them, they're online. They're by Zoom. We do that to make it, as convenient as possible.
Yeah.
I was up in Flagstaff yesterday talking with some business owners who participated from there.
Cool.
And one of them was like, yeah, just having it online was so nice. Like I could see my kids' fingers coming under the door, but I was able to just stay focused on the Zoom, right? So we try and make it accessible. It's 1 hour a week. Our next one's going to start on September 10th. So if folks are interested, please reach out. We'd love to connect and see what works best for you.
Awesome. I've just had flashbacks of the guy being interviewed like 4 years ago and his daughter came running through the room. Like, so anyway,
yes, exactly.
We invite them all. We're so excited about it. So reach out to Local First. If we can be of help to your business, you're interested in just learning more, we'll just talk to you and see where you're at and recommend a solution for you. But Melissa, if we want to have some tea and some gluten-free snacks, where can we come to Drink Me Tea Room?
Yeah, Drink Me Tea Room's in South Tempe. We're at Warner and McClintock. And then the new grab and go is called Tea and Treats, and it's right next door. So right in the same plaza. And then our website has all our information about all of our events and our theme teas, and it's just drinkmetearoom.com.
Right on. Awesome. Well, thank you both for being here. I hope that our listeners come check out Melissa. And if you're a business out there looking to learn more about the Green Loan Fund, just go to localfirstaz.com and we'll connect you to the right people on our team to learn more. We hope that you were inspired today listening to some leaders working to leave a legacy in Arizona through doing good business. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Phoenix Business Radio, for always hosting us and doing an amazing job. And all of our legacy partners at Local First, including City of Tempe, which makes becoming a green business very easy if you're a business in this municipality and city. So thank you all for listening. This is Thomas Barr from Local First, reminding you that if we want to build a better Arizona, we need to connect deeply with the local businesses that make us proud to call this place home.
Thank you for listening to Arizona Good Business Radio with Local First Arizona, where entrepreneurs and local businesses come together to build stronger communities. We hope your business is inspired to take part in building a better Arizona.